Inside Leominster is brought to you through the generous support of Colonial Insulation Company, residential and commercial insulation and fireproofing services, specializing in blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com. And by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donotshout.com.
Inside Leominster, my name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city. Yes, we're live tonight, and believe it or not, it's just a couple of weeks away from the big day. I don't know how that all happened, but it just seems as though as it gets closer, it moves quicker, and you want to just slow it down so you can get all the things done and attend all the events that you want to. And every year you think you can squeeze in more, and they just don't make any more time, and there always seems to be a busy time for work and personal life or whatever. Anyway, we're going to make the most of it. We have a lot happening. Want to let you know, next week, Santa will be visiting the show. Santa makes very few appearances in the area, but he always manages to make it to LTV Inside Leominster. So he'll be here next week. And we just opened the phones, and he takes as many calls as he can for an hour, and then he is back to the North Pole. So mark that down, call your the grandkids and nephews and nieces, and mark it on the calendar. Remind everybody to call 978-537-7760, extension 3. And we'll take as many calls. I do not like it when we have to sort of end the show, but it's automatically set up so another show just comes on right after us, so we can't preempt it. So don't forget that, and it's just a week away. I believe it's the 19th, and we'll start right here at 6:30, unless Kyle gives us a little extra time, but we'll start at 6:30. So let the kiddies know, and have them call in from wherever. You can call in from whatever state or country you'd like. Again, the phone number here, 978-537-7760, extension 3. And tonight, we're going to be talking about the Drake House Holiday Festival. Drake House, in case you didn't know, is at 21 Franklin Street. My guest tonight is Mark Bodanza. Thanks for coming on with us. I know you're shuffling around the city tonight with a number of things to do. And every year I have this list of things, of events that around the city. And I don't want to just go to some of them. I want to go to them all. That's the problem. And so at the end of the season, I'll be bummed out because I've missed a few. But anyway, tonight, Samoset concert's going on, and you've got some events to shift around on, and the rest of the weekend is full and busy. But anyway, coming up this Saturday from 1 to 4?
1 to 4.
And I'll say the 14th, just in case the show gets repeated later on. So tell us what's happening at the Holiday House Festival.
As you know, we tried this last year for the first time, and we had you outside in your 19th century garb, roasting chestnuts.
Yes.
We had some volunteers selling greenery and wreaths for your energy fund. I was doing lectures inside the parlor of the Drake House, and it was a big hit. We had, if you remember, we had a lot of people there. It was a bitter cold day.
It was. And I was happy I was near the fire.
And I was surprised to look out the window and see the line stretching down the street. And we saw about 200 or 300 people, I think, that day.
A lot of people came through.
You know, we've decided to try it again. We might be battling some different weather this year.
Well, I just checked before we started, and it looked like maybe it might be starting to move out mid-afternoon, so you might catch a couple of hours of good weather.
Yeah, I've heard those reports too. If we're lucky, maybe the rain will slow down by noon, and by the time we get this kicked off, the weather will be a little bit more favorable. But
either way, it's
happening. Rain or shine. The lecture portion is indoors, so bring your umbrellas in case you have to wait in line. But we can get about 35 maybe people in there at a shot. And what we did last year is we got the people in and described to them, so let them see the house, especially the parlor, where the famous rescue of Shadrach Minkins occurred. See the trap door that they use as part of the Underground Railroad. Got to see some of the artifacts will be there, some of the things that Drake's owned. His hat, a purse that Mr. Minkins sent back from Canada as a thank you for his rescue, some of their personal belongings. So people loved it. It's a great story. It's great Leominster history. And that part of it should be easy.
Yeah.
We might have to sell the wreaths indoors if it's raining hard enough. And you may have to forego the castagna.
Yeah, the chestnuts. Bummer. Can't keep the fire going when there's water.
But we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll luck out.
And if not, we'll do some cider or something, and there'll be hot chocolate and 10 free copies of the book Resolve and Rescue, which is written about the Drake House.
Yep.
To the first 10 students who visit with an essay on, is that what it's going to be? It's going to be 10 students who visit. They have to have an essay with them.
If a kid shows up with an essay about abolition,
and
or Mrs. Drake,
and the Underground Railroad,
we'll give them a free book.
Oh, geez, that's pretty good. Kids, get ready. That's a great deal, and so close. I know a lot of people travel. I notice Fitchburg now is sort of looking into the history of abolitionists and the Underground Railroad, and so we went to Concord that day and checked out what was going on there, becoming more and more interesting to people, becoming more and more a part of the history. A lot of it uncovered history, right? Untouched history.
Yeah, the Sentinel was good enough to do a few times, do stories on this house. And twice last year, because we did an event around the anniversary date of the rescue, which is in February, NBR picked it up in Boston. We had people that traveled 30, 40 miles to come last year. It's great history, and it's our backyard. It's our history. So as you've been great in supporting this project and the purchase of the home and its renovation outdoors and its eventual renovation inside, it's a wonderful resource culturally for our city, and more importantly, an example, especially for young people, of this woman's moral courage in the face of, at first, a lot of opposition, even in her own town, to not only abolition, but women's rights, which made her a very radical lady back in the 1840s.
It sounds like she took on a number of causes that weren't so popular.
She did.
At the time. So if you don't know where the Drake House is, I can just tell you that you can always put it in your little global positioning map quest, or you can use Waze or anything. But anyway, it's really off of Union Street, which is where Leominster Credit Union is. So Garapies, take the right. And then when you get a little further down on Union Street, take the first right, and that's Franklin Street. And we'll be there from 1 to 4. And it's on the right-hand side. You can't miss it. And so the next step, really, the whole outside has been restored. So what was original was ripped out, and every single piece of that outside had to be restored. So the next steps are to take a couple of the rooms that are inside, sort of clean them up, maybe skim coat the wall so you leave it, maybe some insulation, and some light electrical, and maybe at some point a handicapped, all-accessible restroom, and a handicap ramp to get inside. That would allow some displays. You could use it pretty much 24/7. I mean, you could use it 12 months out of the year after that. And so that's probably the next steps. Not as expensive as the first restoration.
Yeah.
But Wendy, the grant writer for the city, did a great job pulling those financial resources together.
Yeah.
But the next piece is the possibility of using tradespeople from the area, using the Center for Technical Education, maybe some volunteers to help us out, different aspects of it. Could maybe at this time next year, we've got those 2 rooms accessible and 2 rooms open, skim coated, maybe in plaster. There's not much work really to do in there. The windows have been replaced.
The good thing about the place is that it's very original indoors.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like really just it needs a little touch up.
Right.
There's some added material in the kitchen and the bathrooms that needs to be demoed out that is inferior. Came much after.
Later on.
So yeah, we're good ways on the way there. I mean, the exterior was the big part of it.
Right.
So
it's all encapsulated. So now, it's protected from the weather, and we don't have to worry about that. The windows have been replaced.
We've come a long way.
Porches ripped off. That's the big piece. 978-537-7760 number is the number to call here at Inside Leominster if you have a question. I know Mark has to run off in just a couple of minutes, but again, they'll be doing historic house tours and exhibit, roasted chestnuts if the weather's good. If not, we'll probably do cider or something. Bring my generator so I can work. Try to get a small tent, holiday wreath and greenery on sale. Benefit the Mayor's Energy Fund, free hot chocolate, coffee and cookies, and a free copy of the book Resolve and Rescue for the first 10 students who visit with an essay on abolition and the Underground Railroad. And just to explain, I know sometimes I talk to people like, you mean there's like some railroad under there, like this little secret railroad? And it was the crossover from, so they probably lifted the hatch, down the hatch they went, into the basement or cellar, out the back door, which was probably all wooded in that area, and they escaped probably going from wooded area to wooded area.
You know, the places like that here up north were like a fail-safe. If someone came and there was a problem, they would use that. In my estimation, they generally never did.
Right.
Because they never had that kind of interference.
Like an emergency.
Right.
Because there were no other buildings. That probably building, from what I see, there weren't all those other buildings around it. So you could probably see towards downtown.
Oh, yeah.
You could see down Central Street.
Sure.
And you could see up Union Street.
Oh, yeah.
So in the event that somebody did come, and like you said, it probably didn't happen often, but if it did, that was their safety.
That was the way to get out.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah, and you know, it happened that she was participating in one of the most important rescues because the Compromise of 1850 had 9 separate laws that were passed through Congress. One of them was a new fugitive slave law. And the first person that they got their hands on, the slave catchers and the federal agents, was a guy named Shadrach Minkins. And they took him to the courthouse for his hearing, which was, the jurisdiction was taken away from the state courts to a federal commissioner. And before the commissioner could act, a group of free blacks in Boston broke him out of the courthouse. And he ended up in her parlor. That was one of his stops along the way to Canada. He made it to freedom. And so that's a famous case. And
did he ever come back to the United States after?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would doubt it. Because
so
he established a job, a family, and everything else up in Canada. And he sent her a purse as a thank you, which the Historical Society still has. And it'll be there Saturday.
That's incredible. Well, thank you. I know you have to run. It's
I appreciate
6:44. We're going to take a break. I don't know if you have any. Do we have any film of either the Drake House or the Leominster Colonial Band? We can show it because we're going to take a short break, and we're coming back, and we have photos of the week. We'll talk about the stroll. There's like all of this here to talk about some of the things that are happening in and around the city. So we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. And hopefully the Art Report will visit us right after the break. Thanks.
December 12th, 1933. Hard liquor is now on sale for the first time in 17 years here in Leominster.
Event took place on December 13th in 1866, Ron. That was the birthday of a famous Leominster artist. His name was Charles Curtis Allen, and he became so famous that some of his paintings actually were shown in the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. He had a wonderful life, and we were able to actually see 2 of his paintings. We went to the Leominster Public Library to see them, and we made a video there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and I'd like to thank Diane Santabria for helping us out with these events for the last couple of months that we helped her. She's been gracious enough to take time out of her busy schedule and help us out to film this historic event.
Yeah.
And so the video that you're watching is going to be the Diane Santabria interview with Mary, and also we had taken some video of the actual portraits of the landscape images that the library has, Mary.
We had a very nice time talking with Diane about Charles Curtis Allen.
December 13th, 1886. Famed Leominster artist Charles Curtis Allen is born. Some of his paintings have hung in the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. He gained national recognition for his artwork.
And we're back here at Inside Leominster. Nice job, Ron. I'm going to hopefully see that whole segment. Looks pretty interesting. Festival of Trees, just to let you know, right up until the 16th. And so don't miss it. If you haven't been down there yet, let me just give you the hours. Weekdays 9 to 4, Thursdays until 5:30, weekends 11 to 3. So this weekend, so we got tomorrow and then the weekend. So the weekend's 11 to 3, but on Saturday is the Colonial Band concert. So you've got to get in there by 2, and then if you want to sort of sneak in after the concert, you can. But all bidding ends December 16th at 6 p.m. All proceeds will go to the Mayor's Energy Fund and other city events. So if you'd like to get in there and bid on a tree, the biddings will end at 6 p.m. On the 16th. And we have a naturalization ceremony. We have a number of future full citizens of this country that will be taking their oath, and a whole ceremony that'll take place, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday, is it? Anyway, let me just look and see when that is. Give me 1 second. I just hope it's not when I think it is. Let's see, 17th. Is a Tuesday. Okay, I'm sorry. So Monday, all bidding ends at 6 p.m. and then our naturalization citizenship is on Tuesday. Naturalization ceremony at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. So people will be able to pick up their trees, etc. Following that. But either way, if you'd like to get in to see the Festival of Trees, you got to do it soon. So tomorrow's Friday till 4, Saturday and Sunday 11 to 3 on Saturday, 11 to 2, and then after on Sunday. Now it's time for the award-winning Art Report. You know, Art, why is it that Carl hasn't nominated you for an award?
I have no idea.
You know, it's about time, Carl.
My publisher's asked. I know that. I don't know.
How's it going?
Not bad. Went to Pheasant Lane Mall today.
Yes.
That was an experience. I guess some of the truck drivers in New Hampshire with the 45-footers didn't think it was necessary to take the snow and ice off the tops of their trailers.
Oh, boy, that's dangerous.
It was like a slalom on Route 3, is it? Yeah, 3. Dodging ice and snow. Unbelievable. No cure for stupid.
Well, they have these things at the truckers' stations there where they drive under it and it scrapes all the snow off.
Yeah, but this one, for some reason, why should I join the club, right?
Well, you know what I'd like to know is, say you're an independent trucker and you came up from Texas, and you're bringing a load of, I don't know, you're bringing a load of
avocados,
packaging or something.
There you go.
And you get up here and there's a snowstorm. So where do you go to get the top of your roof cleaned? You can't climb up there.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the big truck stops.
Truck stops?
Yeah, I would think, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was always curious.
I saw something interesting in the mall. 2 things, actually. Sears is hiring. They had a big sign. And Rita, I think she hit it right on the head. She said it's probably to have people pack up everything that's not sold. Because that is one big Sears. There's 2 floors of Sears in the National Mall.
Are they closing that one?
Yes, yeah, oh yeah, they had the same sale they do at Leominster.
Oh, I didn't know
50% off.
I didn't know they were closing that one.
I guess they are.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't. Everything was marked down 50 and 40, just like in Leominster.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I didn't realize they were closing that one.
the Apple store, which looked like a phone store, the line, people were sitting on the floor in line down the hall and into the store. That's how busy they were.
I was thinking that the other day.
A new phone or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day. You go to one, it's Apple, and then Microsoft has their own store, and then somebody else. I'm like, this was never. These things were never around 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
No, and all they had in the store was like little cubicles when you go to vote against the walls, and people were in there everybody had a thumb going.
Yeah, right.
But they should have a smart chiropractic type thumb doctor should get a store just down the ways of it. So when everybody comes out of there with cramped thumbs, you can give them some kind of therapy.
Right. I like that.
Or a neck doctor.
It's interesting. You know, it's interesting because our Sears, they still have a couple years left to their lease. I was surprised that they would close.
Oh, I didn't see any signs, but all I saw inside was the exact same signs they have in Leominster.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff was not. You could see they've been throwing stuff, going through piles, looking for stuff and throwing it back.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of clerks, but I did see a help wanted sign.
Well, you figure that people that found out they don't have a job or in another
Yeah, they may have
month or
taken
two,
opportunities and left, and
right. Yeah, they took somewhere else a job and had to leave it, and then so they're looking for somebody to work for the next couple months.
But you talk about cell phones. We were going to Worcester the other day, last week, and there's a guy right on the island just before you take a left on Hanover Street asking for money. And I noticed, I said, he's holding the sign, but he's not looking at anybody in traffic to see if they got money. He's looking down. I said to Rita, I'll bet you he's got a phone. Well, I sat through the 2 lights of changes. So the second one I pulled up, I was right next to him. I looked over. I was right. He was playing with his phone.
Probably playing a game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Everybody's hiring, but these people don't want to work.
I don't know.
But other than that, everything's good. The weather, DPW came on top again.
No, they've done a good job. We've got a couple new people we got to train, but they came in right before. We thought we had a little bit of time to train them, but we got them right like the day the snowstorm started. So, but they've done a good job. They were out there for a couple days. They got very little sleep. So I'm happy we got, yesterday was a little bit of a storm. So now they've got, the weekend to catch up. And honestly, hopefully they can get through the holidays without any storms for everybody's sake, people that travel. It used to be, I thought like Thanksgiving was interesting. I was coming out of Boston, if Thanksgiving was the Thursday, but it was sort of typically people would travel on Wednesday, but everybody's moved that up now to Tuesday and Monday because they want to miss all the traffic on Wednesday. So what's happened is now there's a traffic problem on Tuesday, and I'll bet you next week people start traveling if Christmas Eve day is Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Next week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll bet you people are on the road Monday and Tuesday. And I think it's going to be a disaster Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Probably not as bad on Wednesday, but even now people are hitting the airlines on the 2 and 3 days before the holiday to miss all that.
Yeah.
Should
be interesting.
Well, not only that, but if you catch bad weather and Wednesday was your day to fly out, or Tuesday and weather's bad, then you're stuck. So
That's true.
You figure
relying on the air is tough.
Right. So if you book a flight for Monday, if you can. So I think what's happened is I think even when you have a holiday on a Wednesday, so Christmas Eve day, I think you get a lot of people that be taking Monday and Tuesday off or Friday to kind of make so I think a lot of businesses will have a skeleton crew, as they call it, on the week of Christmas.
Yeah, well, the pro shop at Gardner's still open, you know, for stocking stuffers and
Right,
stuff.
right.
So you never know. But having said that, early Merry Christmas to all my fans.
Yes.
Write into Carl, give me an award.
An
Even if
award.
it's written on a paper box.
I mean, the Grinch got an award.
I'll take anything.
All right. We'll get you.
An apple peel you threw out from Shoreland Farms.
All right. One of those rotten
I'm not
apples
fussy
up
with
there.
my awards.
Okay.
Okay.
I will personally nominate you.
Well, thank you very much. At
Okay.
least it's coming from a higher power.
All right. Power
appreciate-
to the people.
Thank you.
All right, Art. That was the
Take
Art
care,
Report.
bye.
Art Bartlett, live from his residence in the northern section of Leominster, abutting the small, quaint town of Lunenburg. We're going to take a short break, and then, hey, we're coming back with the Colonial Band.
You never hear about this. You know what they mentioned? This war. Yeah. They said they come down here to get your
Right chestnut.
Yeah, but I guess
Right chestnut. I'm like, I wanted to do it. I wanted to, that light display is awesome. It's awesome. There you are. Wait for it. What's the time?
TV?
I'm feeling good. A little cold, but I'm feeling good. Gotta go for a huh?
Hi. How you doing? I don't know. I'm babysitting everything, I guess. Want to try chestnut somewhere? Sit down. Hi. There you go. Very good.
I dropped it.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Dropped it right back inside.
We're back here live. The Winter Stroll. Thank you, Ronnie. Ronnie, that was you, right? And great job. I didn't realize you were taping all that. I would have been on my best behavior. And we had some beautiful, my brother picked up the chestnuts, and they were big. I mean, they were large, and they were really good. And the key, I think, is that you not eat it right away, that you wait just a couple of minutes for it to cool down, and I think the taste is better. And as it cools, it sort of adds moisture when you wrap it in the tin foil. So if you wait a couple of minutes and then open, and it's still cooking. Remember, those are hot.
Yeah.
So they're still cooking. So if you wait a little while, then open it up. Oh, I had one that I put aside, and I forgot it was there, and I went to open it up later, like an hour later. Oh, was it good?
Wow.
So it's a good opportunity. Some people have never tried a chestnut, or at least a chestnut on an open fire, just like the song. And so they try it. So some like it, and they're not sure what it tastes like. I tell them it's like a sweet potato kind of texture. And others, I see them kind of off to the side in the shrubs because they're like, I don't like this taste. Or they, that little outer coating that's on them, Steve?
Yeah.
They'll leave that on
Yeah.
and forget to take it off, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that pot doesn't taste good.
No.
So, but anyway,
Yeah.
most people liked them, and there was one guy that was there. He had to come back 5 or 6 times. He never had them, and it was the first time he had them, and he just kept coming back. And I said, no problem. He's like, can I have another one? I'm like, sure, come on back. And but we had a good time, and it was a little cold. I think that may have scared some people away. Yeah. Last year was just incredible, but it was. But everybody has like 6 coats.
Yeah.
Everybody's got boots and socks and heated coats and gloves and hats. Not just one pair, like 20 different pairs. And you dress in layers and come out. It wasn't bad at all. It was a little bit of wind. So anyway, it was a good day. We had a lot of fun and saw a lot of people. We had the gingerbread house decorated at City Hall. And again, thank you to the sponsors, Team Leominster, City Hall, and DPW and Police Department, and Melissa Tasker and Michelle and J-Lo and Kelly and everybody else that participates to help us out, and Ace and the whole crew, that whole team that we have, and volunteers, as well as sponsors for the stroll. So that was a lot of fun. So coming up on Saturday the 14th, so that's like this Saturday, is Leominster Light. So you can go to our website and our Facebook pages, and from 5 to 10 at night. So it'll list all the different locations in the city of people that have holiday displays. The old days, you'd have to just keep driving around, right? Remember? Go up North Leominster, drive all over the city. Maybe somebody told you where to go. Well, we made it easy for you. Gave you a whole map, put it all together so you can just spend your time riding around. So, anyway, that is the last piece of it. We had Festival of Trees, as I said, ends the 16th. And we did the winter stroll, and then Leominster Lights sort of wraps it up. And let's take it in context. The 13th and 14th, with a snow date of the 15th, is the most peaceful night of the year. Tickets are on sale at Salvy's, City Music, Wavelengths, Monument Square Music School. And you can stop down and get them. Tickets are $10. All proceeds will go to the, donated, I believe, to the Salvation Army. This is the Mark Marquis most peaceful night of the year. A night of music with Mark Marquis and friends. So many great performers. It's at the Unitarian Church, 15 West Street. And it looks like it kicks off, I think, at 7:30. I hope I'm right. But on Friday, 7:30 on Friday and Saturday. I'm sure we have snow, which we're not going to. And then on the 15th, it's a very important day, because we have the Colonial Band. And Steve Piermarini and John DeCicco are here to talk about that. Thank you and welcome again.
Thanks for having us.
I saw you setting up the other night.
Yeah.
The anticipation builds. It's exciting. One chair, one piece of equipment at a time.
Yeah, City Hall was busy Monday night.
Sure and it looks good.
It looks
great. Kind of gives you that special, I'm in a special place, all the history of the building here and the auditorium. And this is number what for you now for the holiday concert?
30. 30th
Is it really
anniversary.
30 years?
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It really is.
And it started down at the Italian American Center.
No, it started at what's now the Hilton, but it was the Sheraton at the time.
That's right. That's right. I forgot.
The Sheraton hosted it the first 4 years.
Yeah.
And then we moved to the Italian Cultural Center on Lancaster Street. And now, of course, for probably about the last 15 years, we've been at City Hall. Actually, I think it's either 14 or 15 years, because the Festival of Trees is 14 years this year. And I think we were there 1 year before. I think we were there 1 year before.
I think you're right. But boy, what a beauty! And we have some of Louis Charpentier's display there. So put it all together. And I know we just had the Montechusett Chorale play, and it just you had the music and just all the people, and people are dressed up in their holiday gear, and it just made for a special day.
I think there's still a lot of people that may not realize what a special scene it is in City Hall. If you haven't been there, during December, during the Festival of Trees, it's really spectacular to see. So
that's what I'm trying to warn everybody. I'm like, don't be, I feel so bad when people come in after the trees are down.
Oh,
because
I know.
We have to sort of auction them off on the 16th or 17th, because people want them for their tree for their house or their business. So we can't go up until, like I think some other cities ended last week.
Yes.
Some other places that have it, they ended sooner because people want them. So we kind of push the envelope. And people are pretty good about not, I can wait another week. And so, it's so, and anyway, the concert will begin at 2 on Sunday. It's absolutely free.
Absolutely.
Free of charge.
100%.
When you think of how many piece orchestra do you have?
30, there'll be 34 on the stage.
34.
4-piece orchestra.
Yes,
you will find nowhere, anywhere, where you can get in for free and have a 30-piece.
Not too many places.
It's pretty rare.
But we should also add that nothing is truly free, and the sponsorship comes from the City of Leominster, of course, and the Leominster Cultural Commission, as well as the Music Performance Trust Fund,
and the sponsors that you have. People who every year you can count on and sort of writing a check.
Absolutely.
And it's a great concert. And so tell us this year, because every year is a little bit different.
Yes, we try to make it that way. Though, if I had known 30 years ago that we'd still be doing it,
you could do repeats.
30. Well, no. Truth be told, we do
some Christmas music has to be.
Yeah, I mean,
because people demand it.
Right.
You can't go 5 years without Sleigh Ride, as an example. It has to be programmed in there, otherwise people are gonna mutiny on us.
Well, I noticed even in the Montechusett Chorale, they kind of mixed it up this year, and they put some of the regular songs but mixed them up, and that held the attention of even little kids. You know,
Yes.
typically they get antsy, myself included, needs to get up and take a walk, or just can't sit there for more than a half hour.
Right.
And it went really well. And so you add those favorites in there, along with you add the classics in there, and the sing-alongs, along with other things that you always sort of put in that are somewhat semi.
Yeah, we try to mix it up so that there's
Something for
something for everyone, and different styles of music. So it's not all classical, it's not all pop. It's I think folks that may be coming for the first time will find that it's really an enjoyable, eclectic mix of music, and there's really something for everyone. We'll be doing a medley of Glenn Miller hits. It happens to be 75 years since Glenn Miller's disappearance, so we'll be honoring him with a medley of Glenn Miller songs, and that's great swing music. And we'll be doing a Percy Grainger piece. Percy Grainger was an Australian-American composer who was quite eclectic himself, a little bit eccentric, but his music was very enjoyable. And he wrote this kind of lighthearted piece called Shepherd's Hay in 1918. And we're going to be closing the first half of the concert with that. We'll be doing a medley of songs from the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's album, which was, I think, 40 years old a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We did it at Carter Park a couple of summers ago, but we've never done it inside, so we thought it would be good to throw in there. So we've got those things. So we've got a great piece that's going to open the concert entitled Santa's Journey, and it's by a Canadian composer named Roy Kagan, who passed away a few years ago. But it's really a bright, energetic piece that's based on motifs from Joy to the World. And if you listen closely, you don't even have to listen that closely. It's not
You'll
like
pick up on it.
Yeah.
But it's really clever what he's done with that. And then after intermission, we do the second half of the concert, which features all of the more Christmas
classics, a lot of Christmas
easier
classics.
to listen to Christmas.
I listen to those, some of the holiday stations, the commercial ones.
Yeah.
And it's the same rotation of songs.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And so you, after a while, you think, Feliz Navidad.
Yeah.
You're just like, it comes on every 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's always by the same artist. But today, there is so much more. There's so much more music that people could be listening to, and that's what they're going to get a little flavor of.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a song that used to come on, sort of internet radio station that I listened to, and something about Here We Are Wandering or something. And it sounds a lot like other songs, so you can hear it in there. But very seldom do you hear it on you won't hear it on any of the commercial stations. You got to kind of look a little deeper. And so they play the top 50 holiday songs over and over and over.
Yeah.
And there's 2 or 3 stations, you think one of them would take something of a little bit of a different approach, but they don't. So this is your chance to hear some of the more obscure, the music that you might not hear on a commercial holiday station.
Exactly, and going on that theme, we'll actually be doing a piece in the second half of the concert called "Carol for Another Christmas," and it's by Henry Mancini. He wrote it for a 1964 movie that was produced by the United Nations.
Wow.
In order to try to promote, brotherhood and goodwill among, people of different cultures. And the movie was written by Rod Serling, who did The Twilight Zone, right? And it's kind of like a takeoff, Rod Serling's takeoff on the Charles Dickens Christmas Carol story.
Really? Yeah.
It's like 2 hours long, and it's pretty dark.
The music's cool.
It's rather depressing, but the theme is really a very sweet, almost madrigal-like Christmas song. And not a lot of people know it. Mancini recorded it on his Christmas record, so people that have that will recognize it. But I like to pull it out every few years because I just love it so much.
Yeah,
and it's one of those
beautiful music.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, like you were saying, that they don't make it on the top 50 Christmas FM stations. But you can hear it if you come Sunday.
All right. So let's just wrap this up to say the Colonial Band, the 30th annual Christmas concert. It's coming. It's a 30-piece, 30-something piece, 30-plus piece concert band. And it's free admission, and thank you to the sponsors that helped make this happen. It's December 15th, in case you're watching this. I don't want to mess people up and have them show up the week after Christmas, but it's December 15th at 2 p.m. at Leominster City Hall. And get there early to get a good seat. It's first come, first serve. And again, it's free admission. Come on down. You'll have a lot of fun. And the scenery and sort of the backdrop to everything is absolutely beautiful. And
Sure is.
you get to be part of it all. And there are very few places, even when I visited, I had to go to a couple other concerts. I didn't have to, but I attended it. They had a Christmas tree in the auditorium and a few other things. And I'm thinking, I'm spoiled now. I can't really go just anywhere anymore.
This is nothing like that.
Exactly.
No,
so come on down, 2 o'clock, and make arrangements if you need a ride. See if you can get a ride. See if somebody can, you can get yourself a ride and get downtown with a couple other people, and you won't miss it. The weather's supposed to be good. It's going to clear up.
Great weather.
So
John's mother's been baking for weeks.
I know.
A whole week.
Incredible.
Thank you, Doris.
Yep.
Doris's Bakery.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
We will see you on Sunday, promptly at 2 o'clock.
Looking forward to it.
Make sure you make up enough programs. We ran out of them last week.
We'll make sure we
Attendance
have
should be good.
We hope so.
And where else do you get to go? Not only is an old historic building built in 1915, all of these holiday trees, but a balcony.
Yes.
Kids come in and they freak
They
out.
love
They're
that.
A
Very
balcony.
special.
Can we
They love
sit in the
that.
balcony? They'll
Yes.
say to their parents.
A lot of adults want to sit in the balcony.
I want to sit in the balcony.
There's lots of them.
It's historic.
And just
Nostalgic.
one last caveat about the Festival of Trees, that even after 15 years that we've been in City Hall, and the Festival of Trees has been there, as we said, 14 years, our members who came Monday night when we were setting up, you saw us setting up, the first thing many of the members of the band did was come down and preview all the trees. And they told me, they said they look forward to this every year.
And they come from all over.
And they're from all over the region, and they just marvel at it.
Yeah. It's a special night.
And they say, and these folks play in a lot of other venues, and it's the same comment. There is nothing like this venue.
Well, that's good.
So they recognize how special it is.
It's everything. It
really
all comes together for this concert. We'll see you there 2 o'clock, December 15th. That's a Sunday, Leominster City Hall, the John Artadia Auditorium. You will not be disappointed. Taking a short break. We'll be right back here at Inside Leominster. Hey, we're back. Caught me off guard here. Plenty going on at the Leominster Public Library. You can visit their website. But they're having a pajama and hot chocolate story time, December 14th. Growing Readers celebrates the book of Sally Sutton, December 16th. Baby Bookworms, December 16th at 11 o'clock. Amazing Girls Book Club, December 17th. Library Legos will be on December 21st. Drop-in Legos Free Play, December 23rd. And then on December 26th, Maker Day Smorgasbord. And drop-in coloring and puzzle fun, December 27th, and the list just keeps going. We had a great meeting at City Hall today. The Leominster Public Library, Leominster Public Schools, City Hall, and the Recreation Department. And so what we're trying to do is during February vacation, I know after a day or two, the kids get a little antsy, and you don't want them hanging around electronic devices too much, and spend a week of that That's no fun for the parents to watch, or anybody, grandparents or caretakers. So we're trying to put it together a whole week of different things that you'll be able to do with your family, really focused around the family. And so even a sledding event over at the Southeast Hill Francis Drake School. And so we're trying to put all that together in a good meeting today. Thank you for those that attended. So we'll have that scheduled out just before the February vacation. But we'll try to work together on as many things as we possibly can. But this is one good example of something that's will be fun. Hey, there's a Veterans Care package assembly December 19th at 6 p.m. And these are packages that they've been preparing at the Veterans Center for years now. And these will go out to our veterans. And if you'd like to help, please join us. If you have a son, daughter, brother, sister, or a friend, etc., that's in the service, please, and they're away and they can't be here, we want to make sure they have a little slice of Leominster. And you can send, you can get us that those addresses of that daughter, brother, sister, friend, or etc. Our votor at leominster-ma.gov, and you can call our office and we'll get you all the information. We're going to have our first naturalization ceremony coming up this week, which is pretty special. And we have all the trees there. And I don't know if you've ever been to one, but it's a very proud moment. These future citizens of this country have worked really hard. They are very proud. It is amazing. It is a very emotional day. And we're going to be happy to be there and actually host it. And those that organize it and are helping to put it on came to City Hall. And they're equally as excited about this particular day. Hey, let's go to questions. Questions. You can ask a question anytime you want, but let's go to photos of the week, please. Pictures of the week. Well, here we are at Mass Higher, and this is a lot of these people that are attending are from the educational field, working on how do we develop an interest for young adults, and actually starting in middle school, for students to become interested in manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, et cetera. It's a different world, and many of the, just this building, as it hosted manufacturing, this entire building here in the old DuPont building is manufacturing is changed. It changes constantly, and so this is a group that's working on that very subject. So I did a little bit of the opening and my explanation about my interest in the manufacturing and how this, it has evolved. And anyway, we had a good time. And don't look down, because there's our friends from Skyline Engineer. And after the election, I heard somebody yelling and yelling. And finally, I looked up and they were waving away. And there are our friends from Skyline Engineer. Look at them. They actually are up on the top of the church. They're probably 180 feet up. And then they set a steel platform staging. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, and then they went up to the very top to work on the, I guess that would be, the, what do you call it, the east, west, north, I'll think of it. And the fire station is getting their project underway, coming along. I know they're waiting for some steel and some other things, but wait, you see the back entrance of the fire department when they're done. It's going to look great. The deck that was there for many years was beginning to rot out, and so this is a whole new look for the Leominster Fire Department. Going to look great, and in keeping with the historic integrity of the building. Thanks to the DPW, they moved a lot of snow. There was 2 feet of snow, and if you think about it, that's a lot of snow to come down in 2 days, especially after they didn't predict it to be 2 feet of snow. So thank you to them, the private contractors, everybody, police, fire, everybody has to work together. It's really a team effort here in the city of Leominster. It doesn't matter what department you work in, you're part of the team. And look, lo and behold, there's Santa Claus, and he was downtown as part of the stroll. Electric Light Parade, I have to thank Chuck and Brian from WDC Construction. They build about 4 or 5 floats. Bartlett Landscaping built a float this year. We had a float in there. The fire department was in there. Fraticelli Oil. Anyway, the Electric Light Parade, I'd really like to build on that. We'll talk more about it as the year goes on, but it's really fun. And I'll tell you, the kids, absolutely, the adults commented on the Electric Light Parade more than the kids did. So we had a great time. So thank you to them. Let me go back one. There's another one, the floats from WDC Construction right here in Leominster. There's an Arrow float, the Polar Express. The fire department bringing in Santa and his favorite elf, J-Lo, and the annual tree lighting, and we had a lot of fun. The Leominster High Band, this is the first year they've come in a long time. They all dressed up, and I'll tell you, I don't know if we don't have a picture of it. I'm gonna bring you some pictures next week and show Santa. They were awesome. They were all dressed up for the holiday, and they were good, and they had so much enthusiasm. And you know what? When you're playing an instrument out there, and it's cold, can take a toll on you, but not them. They had so much enthusiasm and great support from the parents. It's an incredible thing. They have a new music director. So thank you for showing up. Look at that, packed house at the Montechusett Chorale concert, not a seat left in the house, standing room only, and a really beautiful concert was had. And the MVP, this is the Environmental Climate Change Forum that was held at the Emergency Management Center. There were over 30 people that attended. And each person, after we made it public that we needed people to serve on this forum, it was an all-day, 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon forum. And, we didn't go out and handpick anybody to put this together, but we got the A-team. It just so happens the A-team just one by one sent in a request to be on the group, and we put a very good plan together that we'll be using soon. And there we are at Fitchburg State University. It's one of the, it was a combination of those students that are graduating from the program, the small business program that they have at the Fitchburg State University. And we did a little talk there and shared some ideas and shared in the photo ops as students graduated the program. So a lot of fun, and the future is in good hands. The students were great. And there's Mary Lou. Everybody's asking me, where's Mary Lou? And so Mary Lou stopped by at the Festival of Trees and the concert, and she looks great and healthy and strong and sharp as anything, and got up and sang along with all the songs. And Mary Lou is up at Keystone, so if you want to send her a card, you can send it up to Keystone Nursing and Rehab Center up on Keystone Drive. And a lot of people have been missing Mary Lou. Was very happy. I think we got over 500, 600 hits on Facebook in just a couple of days. So that was Mary Lou. And don't forget, December 10th was the birthday of Louis Charpentier. And there are so many stories to be told and shared. And there he is with his magic mouse. And that day, I don't know how many people posted, again, over 500 or 600 posts on just Facebook alone. And people shared their stories. And, how blessed we are to have had Louis in our lives and to actually see him year after year and everything that he's made. Now, I will tell you, there's a lot of his works displayed at City Hall. But next year, we're going to get a team of people together because a lot of it has to be restored. And so we're going to get a team of people together because some of it is probably 40, 50, maybe 60 years old. And we'll work on that through the fall so that we can put more and more of Louis' out. Now, should the Festival of Trees get to the point where it expands beyond City Hall, we'll probably go into the library area or to another municipal building or a church nearby. And we'd like to be able to bring more and more of Louis' display out. But December 10th, Louis passed away in 2015. And what a life, and how blessed we were to have Louis. And that's our photos of the week. So here's what's happening. Shoreland Farms Christmas trees. Balsam fir trees, so maybe you're running a little bit late, but the trees are absolutely beautiful. They're open from 10 to 5, 7 days a week, 10 to 5, you can get your tree. And everybody that's purchased a tree up there has said it. They've been absolutely beautiful. And then listen to this. I don't know if we have a clip, but Shoreland Farms has a light show. And you can go there from 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night. And have a rotation. And you tune your radio to 89.5, I think. And and it is great. It's 22,000 or 25,000 lights, and they all synchronize to the music. Bring the kids up. Honest, they'll have a ball. Get them away from the electronic devices. Bring them up there, and they will have a lot of fun. and you'll be happy too. And so I know as soon as I posted it, I went up there and I posted it, and within minutes, people were heading up there all excited, and the feedback was really good. So here we are, December 12th, and we're just a couple of weeks away, or less than a couple of weeks away to the holiday. And don't forget, I assume that the Merrimack Valley bell ringers will be coming. And things don't just end after the holidays and we pull the trees. There are other things that are going on. Support your small business. We had a very good, I think most small businesses would say that they had a very successful shopping experience here. If at all, I know you can't do your entire shopping here for small business here in Leominster, but if there's anything that you can do, spend a little money in the local businesses, it goes a long way. They don't need $1 million in sales to survive through the holiday season. So every little bit helps. And we have a number of stores here in the city. And so next year, our goal is really to be able to promote small business here in the city of Leominster and tie it in and get to those universal locations where we have a list and you can come to our website and we can give you a whole list of every small business in the city by category. We're on Facebook. You can see that. Don't forget, Leominster has its own radio station, and it gets very interesting from here on in because many of the DJs that are on our radio station will begin to start to play their favorite holiday music, which in most cases is very international. So if you have a opportunity, go to WLPZ, Leominster Please, that's what I call it, WLPZ, and tune in on the radio station. You can catch it on streaming, and yeah, it's our own radio station, and you'll find some really unique shows on there. There's all kinds of country stations and 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s and some really good things. And so anyway, we're going to have Sonny Levine on soon to talk more about the radio station, to let people know that you do have a local radio station that plays music 24/7. And I'm trying to think of where I was the other day. I was in Fitchburg, and even in Fitchburg, I could hear the radio station all the way down John Fitch, so into Lunenburg and right out to sometimes out to 495. So a lot going on here in the city of Leominster. Met with the, it looks like the prospective or the future owners of the mall, and they are very excited about redevelopment of the mall. Going to take some time, but they are owners of over 30 malls across the country. They've been in the business a long time and know the mall industry. And this is what they do, and they are excited about the city, and we took them around the city and spent a few hours with them today. So a lot happening in the city, and even though Sears is leaving, it's going to provide with some other opportunities. One door closes, one opens, and exciting times here in the city. And downtown continues to grow and fill up. There's very few vacancies. And those vacancies that are there now are beginning to fill up, and I expect more of those to be filled. And then we have some really exciting things to share with you about our downtown. And I think you're going to be pretty excited about some of the things that we have planned for the new year. So we're just about out of time here at W from LTV. I always want to say LATV, but we had to cut LTA, but LTV inside Leominster. I want to thank the whole crew for coming in here tonight to do a show. It's a little bit nippy, and sometimes when you get home and you get back from work and you're waiting for the show to start at 6:30, you're like, oh boy, I got to get out and do the show. Anyway, much appreciated. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You need to show up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you through the generous support of Colonial Insulation Company, residential and commercial insulation and fireproofing services, specializing in blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com. And by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donot shout.com.